In this JavaScript tutorial, I'll go over onMouseLeave and onMouseOut events. In this page, you see I have declared a div called myDiv1 with background color set to light blue and width and the height to 100 pixels. Then I have a containing div inside myDiv1 called subdiv1, which I set to background color red and width and height to 50. And then after this div, my div1, I have count div1, which currently has the value 0. And then I have a horizontal line, then another div called my div2, which also has a sub div, and the colors are same as the above. And then this also has a count. To my div1, I attached onMouseLeave event, which calls this function my mouseLeave, which will increment this counter and put it inside count div1. So count div1 will increment one time each time onMouseLeave is fired. For my div2, I attach the onMouseOut event. It also does the same thing, except it increments counter 2 and puts it inside count div2. So this will update every time onMouseLeave event is fired. This will update every time onMouseOut event is fired. So let's view our browser. The first one is for onMouseLeave and the second one is for onMouseOut. How onMouseLeave event works is when you hover over an element to which this is attached and then you get out, it will fire this event. So it should increment to 1 when I leave this element, as you can see here. Same thing with onMouseOut. And with this, you can move it around. It doesn't change unless you go out of the element. Now, as you can see, I'm also moving over the child element and it doesn't fire as long as I'm inside the parent div. Only fires when you go out. Now let's go over to the onMouseOut event. It fires when you go out of the parent. And now if you go over to the child, as you can see, it incremented. This is because you left the parent div and went over to the child div. So at that point it fired. It will also fire when you leave the child div and go over and your mouse to the parent div, as you can see here. It still fires when you leave the parent div. So that's pretty much the only difference. As you can see, I'm moving my mouse inside the parent div. It's just going over and out of the child div each time the onMouseOut event is fired. Whereas with the onMouseLeave, it only fires when you leave the entire parent div. So that's pretty much the only difference between onMouseLeave and onMouseOut event. Otherwise they are the same. It just, if you have a child div, onMouseOut will fire every time you go over to the child div and come back to the parent div, and vice versa. And if you have any questions, do leave a comment and remember to subscribe. Thank you.